Hi,
Hi everyone, my name is Alyssa Jimenez. I am in Project Team 7, and for our bio inspired project this year, we're going to be doing the green lung cleaning the air one car at a time. Now, a little bit about me. Like I said, my name is Alyssa Jimenez, and I'm currently a double major in mechanical and industrial engineering. Within this project, I helped lead by coordinating team responsibilities, organizing slide assignments, and also ensuring that our project checks all guidelines within the rubric. I also scheduled and managed dates to make sure that our team stays on track. Now, a little bit about me. My favorite color of all time is pink, and I love baking whenever I get the chance. I could also spend hours stargazing or just learning about astronomy or learning about the world. I just find it so cool. And also, when I'm not doing homework or hanging out with my friends, you'll probably find me with my best friend, my dog. Her name's Nova, and I love her so much.
I am Saurabh Goel and my major is computer science. My role was to help with the bio-inspired solution and the future plan and also the prototype thing like how we are going to approach that, and also I took care of the all the design style and video related thing in the project. Some basic thing about me is that I love to tell these stories to the camera with a touch of poems. In my free time I love to write some poems. Yeah, basically I am just doing computer science right now, but I am figuring it out what I have to do in my life. Actually I have interest in filmmaking too. Right now I am writing a book, and that book name is Hurt Me, and it's a emotional heavy book. Yeah, it will take some time to come up, but in my free time I love to watch movies and spend my time on walking and sitting on the grass and watching sun, watching moon and all that thing. Like, I love nature. I mean, basically I love nature, and I love to sit in grass or walking around and walking in the evening with some cold air. It feels so good, man. It feels so good for me.
Transportation plays a major role in our everyday lives, whether it's getting to school, work, or even visiting the people that we care the most about. Vehicles are one of the most important inventions in human history. However, the majority of these vehicles run on gasoline, which release large amounts of greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, which can be very dangerous to the public health. Electric vehicles have been introduced to help solve this issue, being introduced as a cleaner alternative since they don't produce tailpipe emissions, but yet they still have their drawbacks. The electricity that they use often comes from fossil fuel based sources, and their batteries are often difficult to dispose of safely and sustainably. This makes it clear that while we rely on vehicles, their environmental impact is still a serious concern, which is why we propose a new solution: filters that can be added to vehicles to reduce the harmful gases that they emit. This innovation could help us take a step forward in protecting the only planet that we have.
Now we are going to talk about problem. While researching for the project, I found out that one of the biggest problem is vehicle emission. Vehicle emission release one of the harmful pollutants in the air. These pollutants are not only damaging the environment, they also have some kind of serious impact on public health. The problem is getting worse day by day because of some reason, and they are poor fuel combustion, outdated filters, limited filtration surface area, and a lack of real-time maintenance alert. Because of these harmful gases like carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxide, and many other teeny particles, like they are harmful for the environment, they release in the environment, and no one's care. And this thing is worst for environment and for every human being, but no one's literally care, to be honest with you. And these things lead into a breathing problem, heart issue, and overall worse air quality. That's why me and Alisa decided to focus on a solution that can directly help and improve air quality. We want to create a filter system that reduce pollutant exposure. Because of that thing, the public health will be safer. I mean, the public will be more safer.
Here are some problems with our current solution. First, we have electric vehicles. While electric cars are often seen as an eco friendly alternative to gas powered vehicles, they still have their environmental drawbacks. One major concern is their production of batteries. These batteries require rare metals like lithium and cobalt. Mining these metals is not only resource intensive but also dangerous, especially in areas where miners work without proper safety gear. Additionally, building an electric vehicle produces about the same amount of CO2 as a gas powered one. And on top of that, you have to factor in the emissions from making the battery, which is also very dangerous. And while the electric vehicles themselves don't release emissions while driving, they still rely on electricity, which often comes from fossil fuels like coal or natural gas. This means that electric cars are only as green as the energy that they're charged from. If electricity comes from renewable sources like solar panels, they're a much better option. Not all people have them though, so environmental benefit can be very limited. Second is utilizing walking and biking. While they're often viewed as great alternatives to driving, particularly for shorter trips, they're affordable, reduce pollution, and help to improve physical health. For shorter distance, whether it's commuting to work, school, or grabbing groceries, walking and biking could be efficient. However, when it comes to longer distances, traveling with children, walking and biking can be a lot less practical or feasible. It's also a lot less comfortable for families with small children and carrying lots of items for those with limited physical mobility. Another major issue is safety. Walking and biking are not ideal for everyone, especially in areas where roads are unsafe, poorly lit, or back lanes. Especially for women and children or others, they might be more vulnerable to walking or biking in environments, and it can pose a lot more risks in encountering unsafe situations. Lastly, we have public transportation, which has been a considered solution to reduce traffic, pollution, and the number of private vehicles on the road. However, it does still have several drawbacks. In many cities, public transportation can be inefficient, overcrowded, and unreliable, especially during rush hours or in areas with limited service. In suburban and rural locations, public transportation options are often scarce or even non existent, making it impractical for those who live outside of these urban areas. Additionally, issues like safety, cleanliness, and frequent delays can make public transportation a lot less appealing. People may feel uncomfortable or unsafe, particularly during later hours or in poorly maintained vehicles. These changes can reduce the effectiveness of public transportation as a viable solution for many commuters.
Our main goal is that to reduce the pollution that directly come from the vehicles. We are making a small filter that is totally inspired by how lungs work. This filter have different kind of layer that can catch, capture, chemically trap, that can clean harmful gases. We are also going to add a self-cleaning system and a sensor. This thing help filter last longer and make sure that it will work properly. Our design is small, easy to install and work with most of the cars. By using the idea from the nature, we are making sure that we can clean the air in a smart way.
For our biologized questions that we're going to be considering when researching this project is how does nature filter and remove harmful gases in the atmosphere? How does nature help organisms breathe clean air through their respiratory systems? And how does nature help to create clean air?
In this project, we are totally inspired by algae. Not totally inspired, mostly inspired by algae. Algae are a very small plant that can clean the air with the help of nature light and its energy. In our system, algae totally grows inside a clear tube. Algae absorb harmful gases like carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and other tiny particles that come from that that come from that exhaust thing. And using a process that called photosynthesis, it just uses sunlight and small vibration from the running car, so it does not need any kind of extra energy or electricity or something like that. We got this idea by nature where algae and wetlands naturally clean the air and water with the help of carbon and pollutants.
For our second biological model, we chose mammal lungs because of their highly efficient natural air filtration process. Lungs clean incoming air in three important stages. First, nasal hairs at the entrance that trap larger particles like dirt and dust to prevent them from entering deeper into the system. Second, inside the bronchial tubes, there are tiny hair-like structures called cilia, which move in coordinated waves to push mucus forward. This mucus traps finer pollutants and germs carrying out of the lungs either by coughing or swallowing. Finally, the clean air reaches the alveoli, which are tiny sacs where the oxygen is absorbed into the body and the carbon dioxide is removed. We are inspired by this natural layered system in order to design a multi-stage car filter. Our model will mimic these steps that will first catch large pollutants, then trap finer particles, and then finally convert the harmful gases into cleaner byproducts before they exit the vehicle, similar to how lungs prepare breathable air for our bodies.
We also took some inspiration from coral reefs. Corals are very good at slowing down water currents and trapping nutrients without blocking flow. In our design, when car moves, small plastic pedal rub inside a ceramic block. This rubbing creates static electricity, which help us to catch pollution particles that come from that exhaust thing. This system does not need any kind of power or fuel. Also, the inside of the filter is made up of coral reefs. It has a special pattern that traps more pollutant particles without stopping the airflow. Because of the properties of coral reef and its pattern, this thing helps us to capture up to 93% of the particles, and 93% is a big number if we want to reduce that pollution thing from the vehicle.
For our abstract, we reframed biological strategies for mammal lungs and algae into accessible and a practical filter design. The goal was not just to mimic nature, but to also create something easy for car owners to use without needing to replace their vehicles entirely. We selected mammal lungs for their natural layered air filtration system using nasal hairs, cilia, and alveoli to clean and exchange air efficiently. Algae were chosen as well because they naturally absorb carbon dioxide and harmful gases and produce cleaner air through their biological processes. These models were a perfect fit for the problem of car emissions, which are a major cause of pollution in cities. Many people still heavily rely on gas powered vehicle systems, so we needed a solution that would work with existing systems instead of asking for major lifestyle changes. We apply these ideas by creating a multi stage modular filter that captures pollutants in layers and uses algae to biologically process exhaust gases. The final design is intended to be affordable, simple to install, and effective, helping provide cleaner air for everyone without forcing expensive changes like switching to electric vehicles.
After a lot of research or discussion or debate with each other, we finally decide to choose this topic, the lung-inspired airflow system, for our final project. And I will tell you why we chose this topic as your final project. This design copies how mammal lungs work. It uses a branching pattern to increase the surface area for filtration. At the same time, it keeps engine brake pressure low, which is very much important to maintaining a good health or good performance for a vehicle, for any vehicle. Our filter uses a multi-layer system. First, it catches large particles, then it traps finer dust, and finally, it cleans some harmful gases like carbon dioxide, CO2 or CO, and nitrogen oxide. We also added algae based idea to promote natural gas and make the system more eco-friendly. As an engineering student, and from the perspective of engineering student, I can say that our system focus on three key aspects. First is high filtration efficiency, second is low energy loss, and the third is easy integration into real vehicle. We make sure that this system will be compact, modular, and strong. So the best thing about this project is it can easily fit in that old previous exhaust system. They don't need to change new exhaust system, or they do not but they do not need to buy a new exhaust system. It's easy. It's like they just have to put a filter in that exhaust system with some changes little bit. It will work out.
For our model prototype 1, I designed a mammal lung inspired filter that focused on three biological stages: trapping the large particles, removing the finer pollutants, and chemically absorbing harmful gases. While the filtration was effective, the first model had its challenges. It was bulky and hard to install on different types of vehicles and needed too much space and extra adjustments on the system. After getting feedback, we worked on making the design slimmer, more modular, and allowing it to easily attach to a wider range of car exhausts without interfering with car performance as well. We also decided to use lighter, more durable materials so the filter wouldn't weigh down or overwork the exhaust system. Another major upgrade we would add is self-cleaning features like vibrations or air pulses inspired how cilia naturally clean our lungs. Additionally, we would also plan on enhancing our system by introducing algae tubes. These transparent tubes house algae that chemically consume the CO2, nitrogen oxide, and particulates, adding a second biological cleaning stage. The algae system is lightweight and can be visually monitored through clear tubing, making maintenance simple and encouraging continuous filtration. Overall, the project will hopefully evolve from a heavy-duty biological filter into a more compact, sustainable model that could realistically be adapted into cars today without harming vehicle function.
It's my turn. Now I will talk about model prototype 2. This design used three layers of filtration system. First is it catches big particles. The second one is that because of catalyst air, it helps us to break down that harmful gases that comes from exhaust. And the third one is that all those leftover pollutants and these particles are captured by some layer. And to make it more better, to make it more advanced, we add a vibration motor. This motor gently shakes the system so it won't get clogged easily, and it helps keep the system to clean easily for longer period of time. We also added a sensor to check the air quality, so whenever air quality is bad for that system, for that exhaust, because of that sensor it got notified to the owner of that car or owner of that vehicle. We focused on making the design more compact and more smarter and more good looking for the vehicle.
Now, for our final model, we created the green lung filter, which is a bio inspired exhaust system designed to reduce harmful vehicle emissions. It works by mimicking the natural filtration process of mammal lungs and the algae system. First, the exhaust enters through a nasal hair like layer that traps larger pollutants like dirt and soot. Then it moves into a cilia and mucus inspired layer, which captures finer particles and toxic chemicals. Next, the gases pass through an alveoli like structure, where harmful gases like carbon monoxide and nitrogen oxides are separated. Finally, the exhaust moves into an algae culture section, where the live algae absorb CO2 and nitrous oxides, using them as nutrients and releasing cleaner air, mostly making oxygen and other harmless byproducts. This filter is designed to easily attach to existing exhaust pipes. It uses adjustable clamps and brackets that securely lock into place without requiring major modifications. This makes it universal for most cars, trucks, and SUVs. In terms of manufacturing, the filter would use lightweight materials, heat resistant plastics, and low maintenance algae tubes. These are affordable, widely available materials that would make mass production cost effective while also being durable enough for real world driving conditions. Overall, the green lung filter offers a practical and sustainable solution to help fight air pollution without forcing people to buy new vehicles or switch fuel types. It's a way to improve what people already have, helping both the environment and the public's health.
Now, I'm going to talk about problems and solutions, what problem and we face and what challenges we have doing that researching and what solution we found. That the first problem we face that we need some kind of system, we need some kind of prototype or design that can fit in that exhaust thing without harming that exhaust and without decreasing the performance of that exhaust and or vehicle overall. The solution we found that our system is going to use a lung-inspired branching airflow system. It gives us more surface area to clean the system while keeping the engine run smoothly without harming the exhaust or anything else. The second thing, and it's a important thing that we faced that while making this project or while making this prototype, filter can get clogged over time. To tackle this problem, we just added some kind of vibration motor and a sensor in it. Because of the vibration motor and the sensor, the filter can stay longer as clean, and if anything is get close, the sensor get notified. This sensor will notify that and alert the driver when maintenance is needed. The best thing is about this project is that it is not expensive. It is not expensive at all. Yeah, I mean it was challenging for us to find out how we are going to reduce the cost of this prototype, but we found a way. We found a way. We know that from the first day, if the system is very much expensive, no one will purchase this. And the thing is that we made a lightweight modular fit. It is not expensive because of we are just using that natural things. It's like that basic steel or that type of thing, and inside that we are just going to use some basic carbon and layering of coral things. The fourth problem that we face that we are trying to solve a nature problem. Finally, we want to make sure that our system is eco-friendly. Nowadays, there are many filters. Most of those filters are made up from harmful materials. We use eco-friendly material in this thing, like ideas from algae, coral leaves, and reduce environment impact.
Now, for our evaluation, our green lung filter is classified as a system that combines elements of form and process. It's modeled after mammal lungs and the algae's natural ability to purify air. The design successfully addresses the challenge by reducing harmful emissions such as CO2, nitrous oxides, and other particulate matter without affecting the car's performance. Some of the problems identified including the filter being somewhat bulky and visible on people's vehicles, which may not be appealing to some customers concerned with their car's appearance. Moving forward, we would make the design sleeker, more compact, and come in possibly different styles or colors to blend in better. In terms of technical feasibility, the design uses existing affordable technologies like modular attachment and eco-friendly materials, making it realistic to produce. From a business perspective, our target is to make it affordable and adaptable for all vehicles to reach a broader market to all car users. For environmental sustainability and the ethical impact are strong positives. By cleaning exhaust without forcing consumers to completely abandon gas powered cars, we address real world habits and make eco friendly changes more accessible to everyone. Compared to other industry solutions like cars or catalytic converters, our filter enhances vehicle systems instead of requiring a complete system overhaul. It's about meeting people where they are rather than expecting a major lifestyle change.
Over design is both focus on sustainability and ethics. First, over balance by airflow system, reduce harmful emission without creating any chemical byproducts. We also make sure that our overall system uses less amount of energy. It works with a small vibration motor, so it does not need any extra power. This thing make it very much energy efficient. Another important part of our project is it's very cheap. It's way too much cheap. Yeah, we can say that. We want to make clean air technology that can use by all people. We know it's important to check all the environmental impact. Our aim is to build a system that is durable, recyclable, and cause minimum waste when it reach the end of its life.
Now for a comparison with other solutions. First, we have electric vehicles. Compared to electric vehicles, our system is a lot more accessible because it doesn't require buying an entirely new car, which is expensive and impractical on its own for many people. Electric vehicles also rely on mining for batteries, which can cause its own environmental damage. Also, EVs aren't completely non gas powered, they are only as green as their power source. Second, we have public transportation. Compared to public transportation, our filter supports personal convenience. Public transportation isn't available everywhere and it may not suit people's schedules or locations, while our system lets people keep their independence. And lastly, we have walking and biking. Compared to walking and biking, our design fits into existing habits. While it is eco friendly, they aren't always realistic for people with long commutes, disabilities, or even certain climate situations.
Now, this is the time we are going to talk about future direction, what we can do in future, what we are planning to do in future. After finishing the design, and the next step is that to test and to build and to get the feedback from the normal people on that prototype. We want to carefully study how the airflow inside the tube or inside the tunnel, and we also have to measure that how much pressure it creates and how much wind it's take, and the basic stuff we have to do that. And we have to measure and we have to run the test and get the feedback from the people, like we have to find out that how efficient is like that prototype is removing carbon dioxide, nitrogen gas, and all less particle from that vehicle. During the testing we also have to check the how much durable is it. We will check the how much efficient that filter is. I mean, how long it can work without breaking and cleaning. I mean, we also have to check that thing, like how that self-cleaning thing actually work. After completing all these basic things, we are going to on that next level. The next level will be we can how we are going to make that vibration motor and that sensor more efficient. The final thing is that we just want to make it more efficient, more friendly to the people, for the nature. Best only this much.
Now, lastly, why is this bioinspiration? Our filter copies exactly how mammal lungs work, trapping larger pollutants first, finer particles next, and gases are absorbed last. Each layer is based on the existing lung system. We also use algae to naturally absorb CO2, nitrous oxides, which turn harmful gases into clean air. It's a living, breathing system inspired by nature. Next, just like ecosystems, our filter works on its own without constant maintenance. The algae grow by feeding on pollutants, keeping the system efficient. And for nature's efficiency, our design uses no extra energy. The exhaust flow alone powers it. Plus, instead of creating more waste, we turn pollution into something useful for algae growth.
And here we just cited all that sources we use, find out that research, doing our research thing. Yeah, have a great day. Thank you for watching this presentation.